Hey friend, it's Nathan here with you today to discuss with you timeline shifting, some of the symptoms, some of the side effects, and what to do next. Because when you go through a really big timeline shift, there are some pretty jarring things that can happen. There are some confusing things that can take place, but they're all actually happening in correspondence with this new shift that you're going through. All shifting that takes place is always because of an inner shift within yourself, an inner awakening. All of reality is, pretty simply put, a mirror that's always reflecting back to you who you are. Now, on the human level, we can get kind of confused by this idea, and we think that it means reality will show us who we are acting like, who we are being, like who we dress up as, how I behave in front of people. But that's actually not true. The reflection that we're getting is who are we right now spiritually? Where are we at spiritually? Our true spiritual being who is dreaming that we are a human right now. What is our spiritual essence experiencing right now? What level are they at in terms of their consciousness and what they're ready to dream into their human life here? So remember that everything that's happening is all in correspondence with who you really are. So it's important in these big shifts to pay close attention and be very conscious and aware as we move through our lives. It's important for us to receive what is happening in our lives from these shifts, because until we receive the benefit, we are destined to be on an unconscious loop where the same things end up repeating themselves over and over and over again. And that's not fun. You know, we do not want to experience that in our lives, the same problems, the same challenges, the same unconscious stuff on a looping cycle. See, things like this only really happen until we receive the message from it and we wake up. That's when our true essence of who we are expands, and that's when our situation actually can begin to change. How do you know if you shifted? Let's start with this. Well, you'll know that you shifted or are going through a big shift right now because you're even able to be here having a conversation with Nathan right now in this YouTube video. It's a concept that a lot of people don't necessarily fully understand in their mind, but I know you recognize it in your spirit, that Nathan, this video is literally your dream. This entire world is your dream. You're literally a spiritual being who is asleep right now, dreaming everything that is happening. It's your dream. So is it an unconscious dream or is it a lucid dream, right? This is a big question, but we'll postpone that for a bit longer in this video. You'll know you shifted because you're here having this conversation. So I can already tell you have. There are some things that we will notice if we are sensitive, if we are aware, if we pay good attention, which I know your being here means that you do. Things like literally you can sometimes notice that reality actually looks different. And there's a different feeling to it too, right? The colors can be different. The density is absolutely one of the biggest shifts. Now, the way you can notice the density, here's the simple example we'll give you. Imagine swimming in a pool of Jell-O, like you fill a pool with Jell-O. And imagine swimming in the consistency of that, right? Sounds kind of fun, right? It's kind of thick. Imagine going from Jell-O to water. Now you literally just rise to the top, right? You can swim easier. Now imagine swimming in almost cemented cement mix. Okay, that's really hard. That's really hard to move around in, right? So that's three-dimensional consciousness, right? 4D, we're talking Jell-O, and once we start tapping into 5D, we're talking water. It's literally tangibly easier to move through reality. There's something that's lighter about you. Things are much more receptive when you've done the kind of shift I know you just have. This is when we enter into the water state, where we literally, everything is so much easier. You feel lighter, things happen more quickly. And one of the interesting things about this is if you think of something, you're likely to see it manifest into reality a lot quicker. We're talking, more synchronicity numbers. We're talking messages on YouTube start coming to you that are extremely clear and on point and accurate. And some part of you may be like, oh, it's this YouTuber I'm watching, right? How does Nathan know all this stuff I'm going through right now? It's not me. It's not me that's super tuned in to be able to have this conversation with you. It's you that's super tuned in, okay? Remember, I'm your dream. You're the one tuned in. You're the one speaking through me to yourself right now. So these are some things that can help you to see that you've just shifted. And of course, one of the most obvious ways to be able to notice that you've shifted is external reality is responding to you very differently. Your friends, your family, your relationships may all of a sudden seem like different people. It's odd, but it's like they're literally different people. They act differently towards you. There's a different feeling. There's a different sense of your connection with them. Things with your finances may be going through big changes. Things with your looks may even go through big changes. You may suddenly feel called to literally not have a beard anymore, okay? This is a funny thing I'm saying. If you watch this channel, Nathan had a beard. He was going for wizard mode. But when we shift, we literally wake up in a new reality. And things that felt right to you before will suddenly not. Certain outfits that you wear, suddenly they don't feel like your clothes. It feels like it's somebody else's outfits. It doesn't really resonate. This is how one of the easiest ways to know we shifted. Now, one of the most challenging side effects of shifting, this is a big one, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to be personal here. I'm not going to be dramatic, not going to be chaotic. I'm sharing this with you on purpose to help you know that you're not alone and you're going to be okay, all right? One of the hardest things when we do a really big shift, when you go through a really big shift, that means you've gone through a shift in consciousness. An internal frequency has changed. And you have to understand that sometimes people go through that shift with you, and sometimes we have to accept and appreciate that other people, they have to live their life. They've got to walk their path. You understand what I'm saying? We've got to give everybody space to be who they are and what they're here to dream in their lives, the experience they're here to have. So one of the things that we can do consciously in these processes is to bless everyone that is relationship changing from us, right? So not to kick and scream, not to be mad, not to feel hurt, but to just understand, remember, a shift has taken place. This is all happening because who you are on the spiritual level, on these higher planes of consciousness, has decided you want to experience a new episode in your life. Now that new episode may mean you're going to a new location. It may mean you're doing a new job, and it may mean that your relationships change. It could mean a lot of things. Remember that nobody's doing this to you. You on a higher level literally have decided that this is what you want next. And of course, our human person can be frantic and scared and hurt by these things sometimes. And remember, none of these things happen without you dreaming them into existence for yourself. There's a purpose to all of it. And the only way to really discover what it is that we're bringing into our lives through these shifts is to be present and to accept and open up, all right? Now, the whole reason I've told you these things is because I understand that when you wake up, when you go through consciousness shifts, when your frequency changes, when you shift timelines, the thing that gets people the most, that makes them start to feel bad and start panicking, is things like friends and family think that there's something wrong with you or you feel unaccepted. But here's this deeper resonance of this that I want to share with you for you to remember as you move forward in this shift. You literally, because you frequency shifted, are magnetically now pulling to yourself a new reality in this new timeline you're on that is in exact correspondence to the frequency you are now emanating. And what this also means is that everything that is not resonant of the frequency of this new timeline, it literally cannot exist in your presence. It literally cannot. It will just be repelled off of you. That does mean people. That does mean some places. All right? And this is the thing. It's not happening to you. You're the one doing it. And one of the things that I think may help you is one of the things that I've been tuning into with my source connection. It's not that my friends are judging me and the people that I could once depend on, don't want to be around me anymore. And this is one way we could look at it, and that's very 3D, right? That's very swimming in cement. That's going to be really hard. This is the very 3D way to come at it. Oh, screw all these people, right? The 5D way to come at it is to realize that really this is a co-creation. This is a collaborative reality. And you need to understand, if you're going to move forward gracefully in this new transformation that you've done, that there's a lot of things that are going to change now. Let them change with love. Let them change with appreciation. Because if we start getting panicky, or hateful, or we start ingraining, right? I had to watch this happening within Nathan's mind, literally watching these stories start to come in. Oh, people abandon me whenever I need them, right? Or, oh, everybody I date ends up leaving me, or, oh, friends are gossiping, people don't understand me anymore. You start to see these stories float by. Maybe you've seen this in yourself. These stories start going by. They're usually victim stories of, I'm feeling like a victim, things are happening to me. The funny thing is that these really big changes happen in our life when you shift to higher levels of consciousness. That's what's happening right now. But if as the external shifts take place, you decide to relate to them in a negative way, then your consciousness actually lowers back down to an even lower frequency than you started at before. And then you're likely going to experience more manifestations of negative experiences with people. And it's because this is your dream. So stay vigilant, conscious, and appreciate all of these changes as they're happening. Because I know how easy it can be to get upset about them. I've had to watch these things pass through me and be deliberately conscious with them and remember that I am the one who is doing this, right? Me on that higher level, you on that higher level. You are the one that is pulling these changes through, and you're doing it on purpose. Let it happen, okay? Your human person is literally just an actor, and they're taking directions from who you really are, okay? Nathan is just an improv actor. The lines he delivers are coming from a higher level of who he's in the earth reality playing. He's my character. I am the player. Now, when we begin to give new instructions on a higher level to our human avatar, right? Our instructions may have to do with appearance changes. And this is only an emphasis of that internal shift again, that you are literally a new person now. You are literally walking new steps in a new reality and are walking towards a new fulfilling life resonant of who you are now. So you literally may find like, oh, the costumes in my closet, the costumes that my actor used to wear because that was his role, this role is just not me anymore. Now, the best thing that we can do in this, again, don't freak out, don't panic. You're not having like a, what's the word for this? You're not having a psychological breakdown. You will if you start freaking out. If you introduce fear into your reality, then your dream starts to manifest into a nightmare, and then it may be that you're going through a psychic breakdown or something. But really, you're not. You know, I know something about you if you're present here. Again, you know, I'm you speaking to yourself. I know that you've been hearing the voice of truth within you more and more. I know that you've been living more courageously. I know that you are more willing now to be who you really are, who you came here to be, than you've ever been before. I know how much courage that takes. I really, really, really do. It takes courage to be who you really are. It's a fearful thing to present ourselves to the world wearing outfits, so to speak, to blend in with what is accepted amongst our peers, for example. It could be very easy to just say things the way you think other people will like the way you said it, right? But when we change ourselves, when we are not being authentically who we are in this moment, we are literally lying to ourselves, we are lying to each other, and we are lying to life itself. And if you do that, your shift is going to begin to fall. But I just want to say, I know you. I know you're rising up. It's obvious. I know you are. Trust. Let me say this word again, okay? Trust. This is, in my opinion, one of the three phrases, trust, right? I know it's a word, trust. One of the three things that I'm going to share with you in this video that are the most important thing to do in your shift right now. Trust. Trust it. Don't look around outside of you at all the things that are changing and panic. Look within yourself. There is a voice that is guiding you. There is a knowing within you that knows why this is happening, what direction to step in, and you know who you are. You feel it. Do not look externally for the answers right now. The answer is within you, and it's clear. It really is. It's not confusing. You need to trust in that. You need to trust in what you know to be true. The fact of the matter is if you want to succeed in life, then you have to be true. You have to be who you really are. That's when success starts coming to you. You are this graceful, magnificent, ever-expansive being that is emanating out these beautiful shifts and changes into reality for yourself to experience, to play with now in the earth game, the earth reality. And the interesting thing is, if you let go, it's water. If you let go, you will literally rise. You rise up when you let go. If you start clinging to things, all you're doing is holding yourself under the water, and that's how you drown. Let go. You will float to the surface. You will rise up. We don't fall when we let go. We rise because we literally are in a multidimensional experience right now. And if you are seeing this video, I know for a fact that you are at 5D consciousness now. You might not be fully aware of it yet. You might just be tuning into it sometimes, but I know it's present and activated within you. As a matter of fact, if you haven't taken the consciousness quiz yet, I'll tag it in the description of this video. It's a very short quiz, 20 questions. It'll tell you what your vibrational resonance is if you're at 5D, and it'll offer you some information too on how you can shift to that place and ground in those frequencies. Remember that everything is happening for you. And that also means that some of the pain that you may be feeling right now, that's for you too. And I don't know if what I'm about to say next to you, if everybody's necessarily ready for it or not, or if everybody's going to understand, but I have a feeling that you will. You know, I'm actually speaking this to you right now. I feel called to share this. Don't turn away from the pain you may be experiencing from these changes. I entered into the pain instead of resisting it, instead of trying to push it away by watching shows or trying to seek a new relationship really quickly or taking drugs or doing things like binge eating, you know, trying to fill that, trying to avoid that. Instead, I literally just allowed myself to be present with the pain. And from that pain came some of the most wisdomatic remembering of who I really am and what I'm doing here than I could possibly tell you right now in this video. And I don't want to waste your time with it either, because I want this to be about you, not me. Be present with it. Underneath that pain, within it, is the most profound love and purpose I have personally ever felt. The levels of love, joy, and ecstasy I was feeling in my life before 1 month ago when I made this shift, okay, I thought I was really tuned in. I thought I was feeling tons of love and joy in my life. Anybody watching my videos would see it. Nathan's a high-vibing guy. There's no denying it. What I am experiencing now is thousands of times more vast, more infinite. There's a level of love and bliss I'm naturally experiencing in my consciousness now that is so far beyond. It's like I thought I was at like an 8 out of 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 of feeling good. I thought I was at like an 8 out of 10. It turns out 10 is not the top of the scale. It's like I'm at like a 47 now out of 10. And it just keeps going the more present I'm willing to be. The more I'm willing to remember, trust, accept, and now I'm going to share with you the third one. Okay, this is the third thing, and it might just be the most important, to be honest. But before I share it with you, I wanted to just briefly mention to my community here, if you guys want to support my journey to Ecuador, I'm going to go live there for a few months. I'm going to write a bunch of books, going to be putting out a ton of free content for you guys here on YouTube, have so much new things coming through. The best way to support this shift for me right now is to join us on Patreon, where I do a live stream every month now and share special content that just is not here on YouTube. Thank you. Remember, number 1, trust. Number 2, accept. And number 3, let go. Surrender. Okay, those two are synonymous. Let go and surrender. Letting go, surrendering doesn't mean give up. I'm going to give you a definition of it right now that I know will help you in any shift you make in your life, whenever. Even if it's, you know, years from now, you'll remember this. I hope you do. Here's a definition of letting go I've never shared before. When something is happening in your life that may scare you, that may be a little bit uncomfortable, what a lot of people do is they become defensive and they block themselves off from it, okay? They're trying to protect themselves. Instead of trying to protect yourself from what's happening, instead of closing off your heart to protect yourself, open your heart even more. Listen to this again. Do not close yourself off to protect yourself. Do not become numb. Don't detach. Don't just zone out and just wait for your situation to be different, okay? Open your heart even more, and you will discover that literally everything that is happening, it's all happening for you. Thanks. Much love to you guys. Don't forget to check out those links I've got in the description. Much love and see you soon. Thanks, guys.